And we are live. Okay. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Microphone is working. So, if you guys are probably wondering if you're catching this on a replay, I'm just doing a small Q&A that I've had a lot of questions submitted to me. And I'll probably wait up, see if anybody joins. If not, I'll just do this right away because I felt like going live. That's just me. I wanted to go live. Haven't done it in a while. Let's see. Let's pull up the questions while we wait for some people to join up. Go into my inbox. I'm going to pull up the questions, and we'll just wait for a few more people to join, and then we'll start up. So let's see here. We got the questions ready. Now, these are all pre-written questions. People have just been messaging me in my inbox. I'm going to read them out one by one, and you guys could also learn more about me if you're watching this on a replay. But if you have any questions, if you want to write in the live chat to anybody, you are more than welcome to submit questions. So, okay. So let's get started. Live Q&A. First question up. This is the most requested question. Why did you switch from Apple to Android? Well, I talked about it in my previous video, which I encourage you guys to check out. The reason I'm switching is because after 13 years, I've gotten bored of just using the same interface, iOS, and it really just got boring. And for me, seeing how Apple's attitude towards consumers is really it just doesn't seem fair, and I just lost interest in Apple. So I wanted to try Android. And to anybody watching, if you want to submit questions in the live chat, you can submit your own questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. These are just some pre-written questions that were submitted to me. I'm just covering them out. If you have any live questions, you can ask in the chat. So realistically, I'm switching basically just to try something new, and I really want to see if I enjoy Android, because I've always talked about it. Next question, what are you going to miss from the iPhone? Obviously, I'm going to miss AirDrop. AirDrop I actually use a lot. iMessage and FaceTime. Now, to be fair, I do have the iPad and the MacBook, so I still will have it. It just will not be as easy. Next question, why did you pick the Note 10 Plus? I picked the Note 10 Plus because it was the newest phone available. It didn't seem like a phone would compromise, in my opinion. It hit the nail on everything I wanted, and I just like a big phone. 6.8 inches is more than enough. So that'll satisfy me for a long time. Next question. If you decide to go back to Apple, would you buy the 2019 iPhone or the 2020 iPhone? I'm going to probably say 2020. If I had to switch back, if I don't like it within a year. But I think I'm going to enjoy my experience on Android. I think that the experience will be fine. But we'll have to wait and see. Next question comes from, we got some fans here. Hello, how you guys doing? Hey, Randy. Hey, Totally Techno. If you guys have any questions, definitely write them down. I'll be happy to answer. Next question comes from, a longtime subscriber, Godzilla Mania. He says here, have there ever been a time when you did a review of a product and it went wrong? Hey, what's up, Sam? Just reading some Q&As that I had submitted to me. You guys, like I said, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask right away, I'll be happy to answer. But Godzilla asks, has there ever come a time when you reviewed a product and it did not work out for you? Yes, actually that has happened more than once. But the most recent one is actually one I actually want to talk about. It all started with this company called Volts Wireless. It's a charging case. Hold on one sec. It's a charging case that basically charges your iPhone. And for the most part, I was going to review it. I contacted the company. I said, if you could help me out with pricing. They gave me a 50% off code. But after further investigation, two things happened. So my bank account funds were low because this was when I was on vacation in Florida. But after further investigating the case, it just was not something I would recommend to average consumers. So I tried to cancel it, mostly because I didn't have the money to keep it and I couldn't pay for it. And the experience was very rough because this was very unprofessional of them. Sam, you know about this. And I'll answer your question in just 1 second. But It was very unprofessional. They asked me to borrow money from my parents, and then they refused to give me a refund. So I had to contact my credit card company, cancel the purchase, and get a refund. And I still have the case. I asked them for a return label. They never sent me one. They don't care. So I wouldn't recommend buying from them or giving them your hard-earned money because of that experience. And also, I mean, if they want their case back, I'd be happy to send it back. I'm not touching it. So Sam, you write, what do you think of the OnePlus 7 5G? I knew it was going to happen. I've told you many times, like that's the market they got to want to hit. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon because the calendar, we are almost in the refresh cycle for OnePlus phones. So it's kind of weird. Sorry, had something in my throat. I think the problem is that it's just too soon because the new phone is literally 2 months away, 2.5 months if you want to be technical. And for me, I don't know. I mean, it's a good idea because it's a cheaper 5G phone. It seems to be more an Asian market device. Well, I mean, Sneed, their production facilities in Asia. So I told you, BK Electronics is Chinese, they're Asian, and they own all three of the divisions. So they have to manufacture these things. It's like an assembly line. Think of it like this. So at the very top of BK Electronics is Oppo. Below it is Vivo. And then at the bottom is OnePlus. Think of it like a ranking. So anytime their technology gets old or starts to become dated, they hand it down. It's like a pass me down. So the reason why OnePlus has been able to make these products, and this is out there, you can look it up, they have been getting these things cheaper because the designs in Asia is becoming outdated and they're doing better, different designs. So they're just basically passing it down, and the other companies are just refreshing it and trying to make it innovative. So for the 5G, like I told you, we were discussing, I told you that BK Electronics would find a way to make it cheaper, and they did. Now, I don't know exactly how they did it because I don't have the device, but I would assume that they hand down the designs and also some things from their 5G phones. So I'll have to wait and see, but I did tell you they were going to pull it off. Asia's 5G is mid-band mostly, and is this device. Exactly, yes. Because Asia, as you know, they're building out 5G, they're faster, but mostly because they're ahead of the game. So the mid-band, obviously, yeah, they haven't started on a high because they know mid-band's the best. I mean, even low-band, but even then, not as fast. Mid-band is more of a balance. Randy, it says here, Samsung Galaxy phones have Super AMOLED display. Oh, you're talking about the Galaxy phone. Yes, absolutely. AMOLED displays are beautiful, and Samsung manufactures some of the best displays that I've seen. So yeah, Sneed, I think the OnePlus 7 Pro 5G is a great phone. I think it was definitely something that was needed because I told you they are basically like the flagship killers with prices. I mean, $669, $699 realistically. I mean, yeah, it's up there, $800, almost $900, but still, it's a good price. But I still wouldn't buy it because the T version is coming out, and 5G is still not really as advanced. It would probably make more sense for Asia. All right, let's get back on track with the questions. So next question was submitted. Have you ever used the HomePod as a soundbar? Yes. Yes, I have. So, answer any question. Choli Tech writes, I have had iPhone for 8 years, just got a Note 10 Plus, liking it so far. Awesome. Let me ask you something. Do you use Bixby or Google Assistant? Because I know everybody's been saying Google Assistant. I'm just curious to see, do you use Bixby or Google Assistant? Next question. It says here, what time would you recommend people to update their smartphones? I can't really give a time because it depends on you as a person and how far you use your phone. So I can't really recommend a time because that's just you. But if I had to take a guess, I would say 3 years. If you could stretch 4 years, that would be even awesome. But 3 years would be the ideal time to switch because by that time, if you're an Apple user anyway, depending on how Apple decides to do everything, you get your regular phone. That's the phone you bought. The first year after that is the S series. The second one would be the new one. Then you got an S series again. So you could decide whether you want to go S or you could go regular. S is more for speed, but it really comes down to Apple and Android users. You could just get whatever you want. There's always a good Android phone out there. So 3 years is ideal. I would say 3 years. It says here, Randy says, I have Bixby on my Samsung Galaxy A20, but I haven't used it yet. Surprisingly, I've heard a lot of things about Bixby. I know they say it's garbage, and I know they say that it's far less superior than Google Assistant, but a lot of people are saying that it's good for what Samsung is trying to do with their ecosystem. I think the problem with their ecosystem is that they're using Android. And I'm going to be on record saying this. If you're going to keep using Android as your base for everything, there's no ecosystem to be built because Android had its own. Google Assistant, the Google Home, the Google TV, Chromecast, Chromebooks. So I think Google should really keep doing what they're doing, but Samsung, they really need to kind of step away from Google and start working on their own OS. They teamed up with Microsoft to use Samsung Dex, but I mean, still, you're using a Microsoft app. Why would you want to use Samsung Dex? Why would you want to use it on a Windows computer? You could just use Windows. I think that doesn't make any sense. They should have just made a computer that runs Dex. I don't understand why they didn't. They have the tablets. The tablets are not bad. But again, Android. The whole thing it comes down to is Android. They're dependent on Android. So if they were to get rid of Android and just keep their own OS, the One OS or One UI OS or whatever they did without the need of using Android, then I could see. Look at Harmony OS for Huawei. Huawei's making their own OS. So if they could do it, I'm pretty sure Samsung could do it. All right. Next question comes to us from Heller. Weird name. But anyway, she asks, when is your next collaboration? I actually don't have one planned at the moment. Only reason because I haven't really been asking people. I've been trying to just keep it low profile for now. Maybe around the September event, I'll try to get Sam on if you want to, Sam, and a couple of others. Next question. What happened to Tech Rant and Zolotech? They've just been fine. I mean, they've been doing their own thing. I keep in touch here and there. I haven't really talked much with them, but they're doing fine. Anyway, now let's talk about some news because I do want to get some news stuff out of the way. The Q&A is partially over. I'll get back on in a sec. Let's just cover some news that you guys need to know. So, taking a look at Apple, apparently the Apple September event is drawing a lot of praise from Apple YouTubers, especially the sheep ones. And it's kind of embarrassing, guys. I have never seen tech YouTubers leech onto Apple as their big source for everything. I'm probably guilty of it, but I try to branch away by doing Android and other things. But when I watch YouTubers and I just I listen to them talk, it's really sometimes it's cringy. Zone of Tech, respect the guy, but I hate what he does because he spreads false rumors, and I don't understand why these YouTubers leech onto Apple and sometimes they spread some of the BS. Apple is no longer innovative, and everybody knows it. If they were innovative, they would have dominated the market, but they don't dominate anymore. But these YouTubers, they just spread bullshit. Why would you respect that dude? Sounds like a loser. I mean, I don't know the guy. I personally have no feelings towards him. So, I mean, the only reason I respect all people, Sam. That's just how I am. Unless they did something to, hurt me and shit, then I'd hate him. But, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a bad person. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a terrible person. I just think he's a bullshit YouTuber, but I respect the dude because, he works hard. He makes his videos. That's the only thing I respect about him. He's dedicated. But other than that, I mean, he spreads bullshit. Another example, in my opinion, but he's finally toning it down, is Taylosif. Taylosif is toning down on his Apple sheeps because he's not an Apple sheep. I don't know what it's going to take for him to stop calling himself that. He's just an Apple fan, a strong Apple fan, maybe a fanboy, but he's not a sheep because he has done a lot of things that most Apple fans wouldn't do. So I don't know why he keeps calling himself sheep. But he's doubled down on defending Apple at times. So he's starting to see the bigger picture. Obviously, he'll stick with Apple, but at least he's doubling down on saying, like, defending stupidity. Because I think Louis Rossmann even called him out on that with the bending iPhone 6S. He tried to defend that. There should be no excuse for, like, any device. Ooh, okay, Randy. Michael, I can confirm that the Samsung has already given names to the A series for the phones. A20 will become the A21, the A30. Oh, so they're just putting one in it. Typical. Kind of expected that. But thank you for the confirmation, Randy. Leave me a link to your source. But anyway, let's keep it going. Another YouTuber that spreads a bunch of BS of anything Apple. And don't get me wrong, this guy, I'm not trying to cause a problem because he's actually friends with Zolotech, and I like Zolotech, so I'm not trying to start. iUpdate, Sam from iUpdate. I actually like him. I actually like Sam. I think he's a very happy guy. And I think he's one of the best enthusiastic YouTubers I've seen. My only issue with him is that he does some things that are very weird for Apple fans. Like when AirPower was before it got canceled and how he was cheering. He made a video of him dancing that AirPower is not dead. And he was like, it's like there's things like that to just make it seem so weird. And then when the thing is done, I get it's understandable to be upset because that was a pretty cool piece of technology, a multi-charge mat. But he makes it sound like it's a funeral. It's just a wireless charging mat. So not too much bad stuff on him, but even then, he does spread some rumors. All the tech YouTubers are guilty of that. Even me. I'm guilty of spreading rumors that could be false. I try to keep the false stuff out when I present the news to you guys by keeping it 100% real. But, of course, you're always going to have hiccups down the road. But, yeah, mostly Apple YouTubers and even Android YouTubers. If I look at Android YouTubers, oh my goodness, like Tech Talk. What's up, guys? Sal here. And don't call me racist. We're Indian, so we can make fun of our own kind. But he is the biggest Android news cover I see, and he calls himself a tech channel. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but if you're a tech channel, you would cover everything, not just one company. Now, if he changed his name to like Android Tech, then I'd be like, okay, you're covering Android. But your name is Tech Talk, and you're supposed to cover tech as a whole and hold your bias out. But this guy literally just covers Android. Copy and paste the link. You can copy and paste the link to. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. He really just covers Android news. So I don't know why he calls himself Tech Talk if you're going to be Android. And he doesn't like Apple. I've not seen him say one good thing about Apple, even when they make good stuff. And yeah, Apple's a piece of shit, don't get me wrong. But there are some times it makes some good stuff, like an iPad. But he really just, like, I don't know. Like, if you're a tech channel, but you talk about Android only, because I haven't seen anything else. It's all Android. Samsung, Oppo, Huawei. Like, call yourself an Android YouTuber. Or change your title to Android. I don't know. And a couple of other Android YouTubers, now that I think about it, I mean, it's really just the fans in the comments that really do all the work. It's not even YouTubers, but again, there's always pluses and negatives on both sides. Gotta look at it that way. And yeah, I think that the problem with tech channels nowadays is that they're trying to leech off of people. Like, okay, have you ever noticed that when somebody makes a video and when they make it, they try to sound similar to another YouTuber? I'm sure it's been going on for a long time, but in this particular case, so many new YouTubers try to do that, like leech on and try to do this and interpret that. That's annoying because you're not going to build an audience. You're just stealing from one guy to the other. So it's nothing to appeal. And honestly, I hate when they do that. I am definitely guilty of that. When I started out, I'm definitely guilty of that. But now I just do my own thing. I don't look at other YouTubers. I just cover the news. If they do before me, hey, great. Still going to talk about it in my opinion. Not going to watch your video. Well, not like jealousy, but I'm not going to watch it before I make mine, obviously. That's just how I am. And yeah, that's about it. Looking also, going to cover real fast something with Samsung. I just saw something pop up. I'm going to pull it up real fast. So apparently there's a article going around saying that the Note 10, let's see, you in Michael's live streams, you truly support your friends and subscribers. Yes, he does. Sam is the best. He supports everybody. He's one of the kindest YouTubers I think I've ever met. Most YouTubers that are like him would probably have just said, screw them. But he's a good guy. I like Sam. We're good friends. So apparently there is an Randy asks a question. What Android phone were you thinking of getting? I actually bought it already, Randy. It is the Note 10 Plus, and I got it in blue. Unboxing will probably be done later. So back to this article. So CNBC pretty much just talks about how Samsung killed the headphone jack, but like, did they forget that Apple did it first? See, this is why I hate big news outlets like CNBC, CNN, and other crappy news networks that cover tech. They just I feel like they just side with Apple most of the time, and then they just start talking crap about Android manufacturers like Samsung and stuff. Like, do you forget that Apple was the one that took the headphone jack off first? Did you forget that, or did we just miss something? Yeah, they had it on the longest, Samsung, but at this day and age, although wired headphones are far more superior, the headphone jack ultimately is going away. And I hate the fact that it's going away. And it just sucks. I really, really don't like it when they take the headphone jack away because they say there's not enough room. That's false, because you can design your logic boards and motherboards. I was pretty much saying, man, I'm tired at this point. But you can ergonomically design your interior of your phone. So you could shape it the way you want the motherboard. So when you put it in, it doesn't take up space. You could even shape the bottom of the sculpting to fit the headphone jack. So for me, every time somebody says there's not enough room, that's complete BS, because you can sculpt the way your motherboard looks, and you could sculpt how the interior of the phone is before you manufacture it. So for me, they're just doing it to sell their headphones, the Galaxy Buds, which are pretty good. They're definitely one of the best Bluetooth headphones that I've used, truly wireless earbuds. So case in point, big manufacturers like CNBC or big news outlets should not be covering news like that because they suck. So that's about it for Q&A, and also just to really talk down. I'm going to end it a little early. I'll do another Q&A probably at the end of September. So if you guys have any questions, you could submit them to me privately, and I'll do another video like this if you have any questions. But to all of you that watched and to people watching on the replay, thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions you want to submit for the next Q&A, which will be at the end of September, you can definitely email them to me, or you could write them down in the comments, and I will hold them till the next Q&A. So that is going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in, and those that participated, I appreciate that. Thank you, and peace.